This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
A new business development is literally brewing next to Chico's Pizza.
For 30 years, the nonprofit Cascade Medical Center has offered ambulance and emergency room services to patients throughout the Upper Wenatchee Valley.
The Moses Lake Chiefs returned from their tournament over the holiday break to get back to work in league play.
High school hoops fans around north central Washington created quite a bustle at the Town Toyota Center on Friday night for the Giesa Credit Union basketball showcase inside.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News. And it starts now.
A new business development is literally brewing next to Chico's Pizza. Squirrel Fight Brewery is moving into the space formerly occupied by Real Deals, a former furniture store. Once open, patrons will be able to pass the time by enjoying a variety of drafts while waiting for a Chico's Pizza.
So we're probably going to have a really diverse range. We're looking at having some Russian Imperial Stouts, some IPAs, some Pale Ales, a lot of different types of Belgians, the Wits, Kolsch's, dark Belgian beers. So it's going to be a lot. We're looking to have about 10 of our own beers on tap and then 2 guest taps from other breweries around the area.
Ruben Vela is the brewery's other co-owner. Both Watson and Vela say they're in preliminary talks with Chico's owner Mitch Zorns about serving a limited menu of next-door eats at the brewery. Zorns says the brew house and pizza parlor will complement one another quite well.
No, we have had made a pizza hors d'oeuvre before, I guess, taking a giant pizza and cut it into small cubes. And I guess he's doing something like that, especially for an opening of theirs. I think that would be great.
Or by the slice, serving it by the slice.
Sure, possibly. Maybe. You know, that's something that we've kind of looked at in the past here, but we just haven't implemented, but it could be done.
The biggest thing is while people wait for their pizza, is they can have a pint over there in the meantime.
Sure. And I know now they're looking at when somebody calls in an order or when somebody orders that we have like maybe an individual system where they can get paged and they would know when their pizza was ready instead of calling it over the intercom, and they could be working next door also.
But let's talk about that name. Squirrel Fight?
Well, so it's kind of a metaphor. My business partner and I, we've brewed together for several years, and we're kind of competitive back and forth on who can come up with the best recipe, and we've taken those recipes and split them out a couple of times, and like I can do a better job hopping, I can do a better job hopping, and so it kind of just worked from our competitive nature, and we're hoping to carry that into the brewery. To continue the way that we brew competitively with our customers.
Watson says they hope to open the brewery by the end of March. I'm Sean Goggins for iFIBER 1 News. This segment is brought to you by...
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
For 30 years, the nonprofit Cascade Medical Center has offered ambulance and emergency room services to patients throughout the Upper Wenatchee Valley. The hospital hopes to keep up that tradition, but it needs a public vote to do so. Voters in the hospital district will be asked to sustain a $1.1 million tax levy that's kept the ER open and the ambulances running for the last 3 decades. The February 12th vote requires a simple majority to renew a rate of 50 cents per $1,000 of property value.
We have historically run it for 6-year periods, and we are asking our community to consider voting and approving another 6 years of the EMS levy.
The 1,200 square mile district runs from the summit of Stevens Pass to the summit of Blewett. Its landscape is rugged, and its population is both active and aging.
Response times are critical for a district this huge. I mean, as an emergency center, our #1 diagnosis is chest pain.
That's closely followed by traumatic injury calls involving highway motorists, backcountry hikers, and others traveling through the great outdoors.
If we didn't have an ambulance service or an ER here, services would have to come from Wenatchee, and that adds a considerable time when you're looking at the total size of our hospital district.
Cascade's emergency room is a level 5 trauma center that can treat and stabilize patients who might need transfer for more specialized care.
There's a high cost to keep that service available and ready, and The patient volumes, while we are remain quite busy, it's not like a big urban center where we have a lot of patients coming in to cover the costs of keeping those services available. The levy helps us maintain those services and ensure that we're here to take care of our community.
Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
The Moses Lake Chiefs returned from their tournaments over the holiday break to get back to work in league play. Friday night, the Eisenhower Cadets came to town, both winnable games for the boys and girls team. The girls got started first, and the Lady Chiefs had no problems against the Cadets. The Chiefs got ahead early and never looked back, ultimately beating the Cadets by the comfortable score at 59-47. Not only did the win break a 2-game losing skid for Moses Lake, but it put the Chiefs over a .500 winning percentage for the season and saw them advance to 3-1 in the conference, taking sole command of second place. The boys came out and, despite a similarly margin of victory, had to overcome a big push by the Cadets in the third quarter. Eisenhower erased an 8-point deficit to take the lead late in the third quarter, but from that point on, Moses Lake went on a 24-10 run to win the game by the final score of 61-48. The boys team has now won 6 of their last 7 after beginning the season 1-4, and also have sole command of second place in the Big Nine. The Chiefs will next play at West Valley Yakima Saturday night. West Valley is a team in both the boys and girls division that is challenging the Chiefs for second place, so the game Saturday night will be vital for both teams. Girls tip off at 5:45 p.m. and the boys will play after they finish. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFIBER 1 Sports.
High school hoops fans around North Central Washington created quite a bustle at the Town Toyota Center on Friday night for the Giesa Credit Union basketball showcase inside, featuring one of the region's biggest rivalries between the Wenatchee Panthers and the Eastmont Wildcats, who were each playing their first games of the new year. In the early going, it seemed that Wenatchee caught the Cats napping as the Panthers racked up 11 unanswered points in the first 4 minutes of play to bolt in front by double digits. Eastmont finally awoke from their slumber and tallied their first basket 4 minutes and 28 seconds after the opening tip as part of an 8-3 run, which found them trailing by 6 after 1 quarter of play. The Wildcats' sleepwalk amplified into a full sprint in the second quarter, however, thanks to the energizing efforts of junior guard Trey Haberlock and junior forward Isaac Wellborn, who quickly catapulted Eastmont into their first lead of the game after only 97 seconds had elapsed. The Cats continued their supercharged play throughout the remainder of the first half, and the Panthers managed to keep pace enough to trail by only 1 point at halftime. As the second half began, junior guard Nate Blauman exploded for 8 of his dozen points in the contest to aid in rapidly helping Wenatchee retake the advantage, as Eastmont did their best to match Blauman's fury of points by riding the hot hand of Wellborn. With the Panthers back in front by 6 entering the final stanza, the Wildcats turned up their intensity in hopes of mounting a full-scale comeback. But try as they might, Eastmont could not overcome the determined play of Blauman and sophomore guard Garrett Long, who combined to tally 25 of Wenatchee's final 29 points in the contest as the Panthers held on for a thrilling 52-50 victory. Both teams have a quick turnaround after playing on Central Washington's biggest stage. The Eastmont Wildcats are back home to play the Davis Pirates on Saturday night, and the Wenatchee Panthers travel to Yakima for a matchup against the Eisenhower Cadets on Saturday night. Reporting for iFIBER 1 Sports, I'm Chris Hansen.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.